दक्षिणस्य समारंभा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। वेदान्तडिण्डिमास्तत्त्वम् एकम् उद्घोषयन्ति यत् आस्तां पुरस्तात् तत्तेजः दक्षिणामूर्तिसन्निधम्. So yesterday we saw in the 71st verse what is the meaning of Bheda Darshanam and what is the meaning of Abheda Darshanam. We saw what it means. Bheda Darshanam is what we are already born with. It is something very natural to us, isn't it? It's not something that Vedanta has to tell me that you are seeing differences. And are the differences not real? Names and forms are varied. My body is different from your body. My mind is different from your mind. Names and forms in the world are definitely different from each other. So from the point of view of anatma nama rupas, everything is different from each other. There's no question of any kind of, copy, like Xerox copy of anything. Not two jivas of the same species are alike. Even the so-called identical twins, they'll have some difference. There is something, though others may not be able to make out. So, actually speaking, two anatmas, two names and forms can never be one and the same. There is always Bheda. The whole universe of names and forms has Bhedas. There's no doubt about it. But unfortunately, we, the Ajnanis, those who are afflicted with the avidya, Maya's avarana shakti avidya, which we are born with, that's not our fault. That we have avidya is not our fault. We are born with that. That is, inborn, whatever we have, we are born with that. So avidya is something which is there. For lives together, it has been there. Now also in this life also it is there. There's no doubt about it. Because of this avidya, I take the bheda to be reality. That's the only problem here. The bheda, the bhedas or differences in namarupas are mithya. Because the namarupa itself is mithya. We have already seen that. The whole universe, which is made of multiple names and forms, the namarupas are mithya. Therefore, in namarupas, whatever differences are there, bhedas are there, they are also mithya. So, we should not really be bothered about the bhedas or the differences. What we have to think is there really really paramarthikataya, at a more absolute level, at a subtler level, is there really a Bheda? There are some, Shastras, some Darshana Shastras, philosophy, which talk about different kinds of Vedas. Jiva Jiva Bheda, the difference between two Jivas. Jiva Jagat Bheda, the difference between Jiva and Jagat. Then Jiva Ishvara Bheda. Then Ishvara Jagat Bheda. Like that, various types of Bhedas are talked about in certain systems of philosophy. But what ultimately the Upanishads say is, all the difference that you see, all the Bheda that you see is only at the level of Anatma, at the level of the body mind sense complex, at the point of the name and form. But when you look at a little deeper, you'll find that the content of every name and form, content of every vikara, content of every bheda is nothing but that one consciousness, one ekameva advitiya Brahma. Like in a group of golden ornaments made of gold, definitely there is a bheda in the nama rupa. A bangle is different from ring, a ring is different from chain, a chain is different from earrings, and of course from head to toe there are so many ornaments one can wear, and each of them is different. Can you say that bheda drishti is wrong? No. From the point of view of abharanas, bheda drishti is correct. Otherwise, we won't be able to carry on any transactions, isn't it? How can we carry on transactions? If I don't see or if I cannot make out the difference between a bangle and a chain, how will I carry on the transaction of wearing that ornament? So, Bhedas are there as per the Nama Rupas. At the level of the Anatma, Nama Rupas, definitely Bhedas are there. But our problem is what? We think that these Bhedas that we see at the level of the Nama Rupas is real. That is the ultimate truth. And because of this, because of the Bhedas that we see, a lot of ahankara mamakara comes about. A lot of ragadvesha comes about. I don't like this, I like this. What is it that I don't like? A particular name and form I don't like. Correct? I like that particular name and form. Nothing wrong. I like this color. I don't like that color. Nothing wrong. We all have our preferences. But the Bhedas are all superficial, belonging to the Nama Rupatmaka Prapancha. Because of these Bhedas, we have different preferences, different choices, ragas, dveshas. Oh, it's so horrible. Oh, it's so nice. I would like to have this. I don't think I would ever have this. All these personal, preferences, choices, nothing wrong. This is how the transaction goes on. Without all these personal choices, preferences, no transaction can go on. I do something because I like to do it. I don't do something because I don't want to do it. Perfectly fine. But let us understand that our understanding of the Bhedas should be limited only to the names and forms. And those names and forms which have the Bhedas are mithya. What is the reality behind all those Bhedas? All the Bhedas, all the names and forms that we see, what is the reality behind all these Bhedas? It is one Ekameva Advitiya Atma Brahma is the reality behind all the Bhedas, behind all the names and forms. Correct? We have seen that. Behind all the names and forms, what we are seeing is that one consciousness. One Ekameva Advitiya Atma Brahman is that. And what the Upanishads try to tell us is, what Vedanta tells us, actually speaking, Bheda Darshanam or Dvaita Darshanam is only as far as the Nama Rupa Prapancha goes. But in reality, there is nothing like a Bheda anywhere. Jiva Jiva Bheda is only Upadhi Bheda, Nama Rupa Bheda. But it is the same Atma, which is the existence and consciousness behind this Jiva and all the other Jivas in the universe. Similarly, it is the same Brahman, which is the Adhishtanam of all the animate and inanimate objects in the entire universe, despite the Bhedas. So, understanding this, despite all the Bhedas, there is one thing. There is only one existence and consciousness, which is the very content of every jiva, every object, Ishvara, and the entire Jagat. So, the Jiva Ishvara Bheda, the Jiva Jagat Bheda, Ishvara Jagat Bheda, all these Bhedas are also Mithya. They are the Bhedas which are different. Bheda means difference. The differences are only superficial and not real. In reality, we don't have any differences. This understanding, this vision, this clarity of perception is called as Abheda Darshanam. So, even a jnani, a real, as the so-called Jivan Mukta, can see the difference between a horse and a donkey. A jnani can also see the difference between a man and a woman. Okay? The jnani can also see the difference between a book and a tree. Otherwise, how will he carry on his transaction? If at the level of the creation, or at the level of the anatma, if everything looks one and the same, there is no difference at all, then there is something wrong with this person. Maybe something is wrong with the vision itself. Something must be wrong with the eyes. Therefore, it is said that Bheda Darshanam is okay, as long as I understand that all the differences and Bhedas belong to the Upadhi, they belong to the Anatma, and they are not real. This Bheda Darshanam, which is necessary, which is normal for our regular day-to-day transactions, that is fine. But when the Bhedas become real, and when I start thinking that the superficial differences that I see are real differences, then there is samsara for me. At the same time, when I understand that, in spite of all the Bhedas in the world outside, what is unchanging, what is not real, what is not something which is absolutely, having any changes, is nothing but this Abheda Atma Brahma. It is the Abheda Atma Brahma, that is Nirvikari, Nirguna Atma Brahma behind everything in this universe. This is what is called as Abheda Darshanam. And he says, Abheda Darshanam Mokshaha. Abheda Darshanam is what gives rise to, not what gives rise to, that is what is called as moksha. Abheda Darshanam is moksha. Bheda Darshanam is samsara. When you see Bheda everywhere, when you see everything different as real, that is what is called as the samsara. Samsaraha Bheda Darshanaha. This is what Sarva Vedanta Siddhantaha. This is the Siddhanta of all Upanishads. So who is a Jnani? He is a Abhedadarshi. He is not a Bhedadarshi. He is an Abhedadarshi. So a Abhedadarshi is a Mukta Purusha. A Bhedadarshi is a Samsari. That's what all Vedantas talk about. This is what is called as the Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta. What is the meaning of Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta? This is actually the summary. This is actually the summary of all Vedantas. This is the summary of all the Upanishads. Okay, this is the summary. That means what? Samanvaya. I told you yesterday, this is the Samanvaya of all the Upanishads. Now, in the next few verses, the author wants to talk about the direct relationship between Atma Jnanam and Mukti. Atma Jnanam and Mukti, the direct relationship is being talked about. Okay, what does he say? Let us see what is said here. He says, Namata bhiniveshena na bhasha veshamatratah muktirvinatma vijnanam iti vedantadindimah. So, he says, now what he talked about the differences in the previous verse, he goes about in the next verse talking about the various Bhedas that we see, amongst ourselves in the people. Now he says, Na mata abhinivesha, na bhasha abhinivesha, na vesha abhinivesha. This abhinivesha has to be applied to mata, bhasha, vesha. Okay, so what he says here is identifying myself with a particular philosophy doesn't give me moksha. I identify myself with a particular philosophy. I say, I am an Advaitin. My entire Guru Parampara is an Advaita Guru Parampara. I follow for Pramana Shankara Bhashya. Therefore, I am an Advaiti. Good, no problem. Does that give me moksha? By my identification with a particular system of philosophy, by a particular mata. Mata means a system of thinking, a particular system of philosophy. Will identifying myself with a particular philosophy give me moksha? No. Okay. Then he says, Na bhasha abhiniveshena. Bhasha. I'm a scholar. I'm a scholar in Sanskrit language. I'm a grammarian. Okay. I have studied all the Mahabhashyas, Patanjali Mahabhashyas. Okay. I have studied all the, Ashtadhyayi fully. Entire Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, I have completely by hearted. I know all the Paninian Sutras. Even if I say all these things, I am a scholar. Does it make me a Mukta Purusha? No. It only makes me more of an Abhimani. I belong to a particular Mata. Therefore, I am great. You belong to some other Mata, so you are not as good as me. I know this language. Therefore, I am good. You don't know this language. You cannot speak in this particular language. It's very bad. No, it's nothing like that. And I am a scholar. Therefore, I don't need a guru to understand the Upanishads. I have done my PhD in Sanskrit. I have been a professor of Sanskrit in some college or some university, and therefore I can independently study Vedanta. I don't need the, Shastra Pramana properly. I don't need the Guru to tell me. I don't need any of these things. Now, this is an Abhimana with the Bhasha. Okay. Then, not only that Bhasha, I may be able to use certain terms. I may be very well versed. I may have the gift of the gab. You call it the gift of the gab. That means you can freely talk about something, use all kinds of all words, jargon, you're familiar. I can use the words very freely Atma, Brahman, Prakriti, Panchakosha Viveka, Drittrishya Viveka Prakriya, all these things, Satya, Mithya, okay? Then Shukti Rajatanyaya, okay? Anything. I can use all these words. Does it mean that I am a Mukta Purusha? Does it mean that I have understood I'm a free person? Does it mean that I'm a Atmajnani? No. Bhasha Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means Abhimana. Strongly entangling, attaching myself to a particular sect, a particular philosophy, a particular bhasha, a particular set of words which I use with ease. Like some people, management jargons. Even common people, you need not be a management guru to use management jargons. So, every philosophy, every system has a few words, many words, which are exclusively used in that particular philosophy. Now, in that case, I may use a lot of words related to Vedanta or the Shastra and very familiar with them. I may even know the superficial meaning of all of them. Rajju Sarpa, Shuktika, Rajata Shukti, Shuktika Rajita. Many of these Vedantic terms that are used, I may be able to use them. Even knowing what they mean. I'm not saying that I don't know what they mean. I may know, but does it make me a jnani? No. Then Vesha Abhinivesha. Vesha Abhinivesha. A kind of a entanglement or association with a particular Vesha, a particular Namarupa. I wear white clothes all the time. And I say, see, since I'm wearing white clothes all the time, I'm a jnana yogi, or I'm a whatever. There are people who I take on kashaya, whether I have been given sannyasa really by a guru or not. Anybody can don on kashaya. I can don on kashaya vastra. I can hold a kamandalu in my hand. And all these external chinhas, external lingas, do not mean that I am a Mukta Purusha. That is why it is said that a Mukta Purusha or a Jivan Mukta, you cannot recognize outside. He doesn't have any special characteristics with which he can be recognized. There are no special characteristics at all. He may look like any other common person on the street. He may not be a sannyasi. He may not even be talking too much or showing off. Remember one thing, a person who goes on talking, tries to show off that he knows, tries to dabble in too many technical words, understand that they are not really knowing anything. So by trying to make an impression with, being a part of a particular group, being a part of a particular mata. Okay, I'm so and so Shishya. Fine. I am the Shishya of that Paramagnani so and so. Fine. My Guru is a Jnani. My Guru is a Jivan Mukta. But just because I am a student or a Shishya of that Jnani Guru, does it make me also a Jnani? No. This kind of a misunderstanding is there with many people. Many people. One incident where I remember it happened that somebody who I know well, she took sannyasa. For whatever reason, Vividisha sannyasa or whatever. There are many reasons for which people take sannyasa. Anyway, this person took sannyasa. And when I met that person whom I knew, she said that, see, I have taken sannyasa because I know that taking sannyasa is definite that I will not be reborn again. My taking sannyasa is a guarantee that I will be free, mukta, and I'll not come back again. I said, how do you say this? Who has told you this? I'm sure your guru who has given you the sannyasa would never have said it. Just because you have taken sannyasa, vidhivat you have taken, you're wearing the kashaya, does not mean that automatically you get mukti. No. You are an ajnani sannyasi. I am an ajnani samsari. That's all. The bheda is only in your dress and my dress. But both of us are ajnanis. Both of us have to work towards Atmajnanam. Both of us have to get Atmajnanam. Then only we can say that there is Jivan Mukti. Without knowledge, without abiding in this Atmajnanam, there is no question of Mukti at all. Therefore, here he says, na mata abhiniveshena, na bhasha veshamatratah. Okay, words, appearance, language, association with certain things, certain groups, certain people. Na muktihi. There is no question of moksha. Vina atmajnanam. Atmajnanam vina na muktihi. Whether you are a brahmachari, whether you are a grahastha or a vanaprasthi or a sannyasi, whether you are any varna, any ashrama, you may be a brahmana or a shudra, whatever it may be, whoever you may be, whatever you may be. Atma jnana vina na muktihi. Atma vijnana vina na muktihi. Okay? Associating ourselves with something or somebody, no. Associating myself with Shastra, it's a good thing. Just because I am attending Vedanta lectures, it's a good thing that I'm attending. But that doesn't mean that merely putting an attendance in a Vedanta class is going to guarantee anybody mukti. That class, what is taught in Vedanta, has to be properly Shravanam, Mananam, niddhidhyasanam has to happen, and I have to abide in this knowledge. As a first step, attending the Vedanta session is very good, nothing wrong, it should be done. After preparation of the mind and intellect, it should be done. There is no other go. But Atmava are Drishtavyo, Shrotavyo, Mantavyo, Nididhyasitavyaha. Then only you can say that there is mukti. Atma Jnanam is mukti. Aham Brahmasmi is mukti. That knowledge is mukti. Aparoksha Anubhuti of Aham Brahmasmi is mukti. Therefore, no external associations are going to give me moksha. Let us not be in any kind of a false notion that associating ourselves with a certain system of philosophy or with certain people or with certain languages or with certain external chinhas means external, marks, external identifications. No sir, no, that's not going to give anybody moksha. I can wear whatever I want, it doesn't matter. Moksha does not depend on your sixth kosha. What I wear, Vesha, is the sixth kosha. We are not even the five koshas. I'm not even the Annamaya. Where is the question of a orange sari giving me moksha? Tell me. Therefore, what he says is, Mata abhiniveshenava, Bhasha abhiniveshenava, Vesha matra abhiniveshenava, na muktir bhavati. Then, how? Vina atmajnanam muktihi na bhavati iti Vedantadindimah. This is what Vedanta says. Therefore, we Vedanta students also have to be extremely careful, because sometimes being a Vedanta student itself can give us a lot of abhimana, lot of pride. I have been studying Vedanta under such and such a guru for last 30 years. I have heard Vedanta, read Vedanta for the last 30 years. I have gone through so many texts. That's why it seems one very well-known guru said, okay, you have gone through all these things. How much of that has gone through you? You tell me. Because you said, I've gone through entire Bhagavad Gita. I have gone through all the Upanishads. Okay. How much Bhagavad Gita has gone through you, gone through here, and are you abiding? At least one Bhagavad Gita shloka have you really internalized? That's what the Guru asked. Jnani Guru, he asked that. Therefore, even as Vedanta students, let us not be in contempt of other systems of philosophy. At the same time, let us not have the pride in ourselves that we are Advaita Vedanta students and therefore moksha is definitely reserved for us. No, no, that's not true. I have to prepare myself with Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga. I have to go through Jnana Yoga. I have to spend years and lives probably on Shravanam, Mananam and niddhidhyasanam with Shraddha and Bhakti to a Guru. Then with Ishvara Anugraha, yes, it will happen. Moksha is our birthright because that is what we all are. It's not something which is got only by a few people. No. All of us are Mukta Purushas. Moksha is what we are naturally, normally. That's our birth, that's what we are. Unfortunately, avidya has taken us away from that. And as from Brahma Swarupam, we have fallen down to Jiva Swarupam. From Brahmatvam, we have fallen down to Jivatvam because of our avidya. And what is needed is to remove this avidya. That is done by Atma Jnanam or the Upanishads. So, Atma Jnana Vijnana, Atma Vijnana Vina. Atma Vijnana means aparokshataya understanding aham brahmasmi. Without that, na mukti sambhavati. No mukti is possible. Who's saying this? Vedantadindimah. It is the all the central teaching of Vedanta is only that. Jnanattu eva kaivalyam. Atmajnanena vina na muktihi. Okay, what kind of jnanam? Not paroksha jnanam. Brahma asti, I know. No, that's not the thing. Tad Brahma ahameva asmi. I am the one and only indivisible, infinite consciousness, everywhere, behind everything, behind every upadhi. The upadhis are mithya, the bheda is mithya, abhedam is satyam. Iti, this understanding which is clear understanding, not doubtful understanding. That's why Bhagwan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita calls it Samyak Darshanam. Samyak, it cannot be shaken by anything. That should be our knowledge. Not being shaken by anything. Tomorrow somebody says, no, you are not Brahman. Oh, who knows, maybe I'm not. It's not a shaky knowledge. It's a very, very, very deep knowledge, not simply a conviction. It is the real understanding of the reality, the ultimate reality. So, na muktihi vina atma vijnanam iti Vedantadindimah. Now, we talked about the Bheda Darshanam, we talked about the Abheda Darshanam, we talked about, any kind of a abhinivesha or entanglement or attachment with anything is not going to give you moksha. All that we understood. But now, in all these things, there should be something called as an Ishvaranugraha. Ishvara should be there. That's why we always say in Vedanta, there should be Ishvara Kripa, Shastra Kripa, Guru Kripa, and Atma Kripa. These four are very essential. Okay? Do you remember our Vivekachudamani? Ishvara Anugrahadeva Pumsam Advaita Vasana. Ishvara Anugrahadeva. Somewhere in some life, I would have done nishkama karmas for the sake of preparation of this mind for Atmajnanam. So, all that I have done nishkamataya, whatever dharma I have, whatever punya I have accumulated, not for material benefits, but the punya that I have accumulated for my spiritual growth sometime in some life, that has come now in the form of Ishvara Anugraha, which has created a mumukshutvam in me. Otherwise, there are so many families in which there are realized masters. There are jnanis in a family, but some members of the family, even the own son or daughter of a jnani, may not be even have a passing interest in this thing. Forget about mumukshutvam. So, Ishvara Anugrahadyeva Pumsam, for people, Pumsam means for people, Ishvara Anugrahadyeva, only with Ishvara Anugraha, Advaita Vasana. Mumukshutvam. Advaita Vasana means what? Mumukshutvam. The Tivra Ichha to know who I am. The Tivra Ichha to understand Jiva Swarupa, Jagat Swarupa, Ishvara Swarupa. That is what is called as Mumukshutvam, Moktum Ichha. And not simply Moktum Ichha once in a way. Tivra Mumukshutvam. Tivra Mumuksha. So that's what is said in the 73rd verse. He says, Na kamya pratishidhabhihi kriyabhir vasana ishvaranugrahat sasyad iti vedantadindimaha. Moksha vasana ishvara anugrahat. He says, Moksha vasana means what? Mumukshutvam. Mumuksha. So here he says, Na kamya pratishiddadibhihi kriyabhihi moksha vasana. There are karmas, laukika karmas, actions which we do normally for survival, for transacting our day-to-day lives, then there is something called as a Vaidika karma. In Vaidika karma, we have what is called as the Nitya karmas, karmas which are supposed to be done. Karmas means certain activities, spiritual activities which are supposed to be done every day, Nitya karmas, like Agnihotradi karmas for a Grahastha, for a brahmachari, there is something else, for Vanaprastha, something. So, like that, for every varna and every ashrama, there are Nitya karmas. Those are the Vaidika karmas, the spiritual activities that are supposed to be done every day, like Agnihotra, Sandhya Vandana, Athiti Satkara. There's so many. In Mundakopanishad, we saw, remember, what are the various karmas that one is supposed to do. So every day you have to do some Agni karmas, then you have to do some other things, so many Nitya karmas. Then there are Naimitika karmas. What are Naimitika karmas? At a certain time, at a particular, at a particular time, at a particular, context, one is supposed to do some karmas. Like during Grahana, something is to be done. During Amavasya, some Tarpana has to be given. During the, Pitrupaksha, something is to be done. And during certain days of certain months, certain things have to be done. They are called as the Naimitika karmas. So, Nitya karmas, Naimitika karmas. Then there are Kamya karmas. Kamya karmas means Veda Purva tells us that if you want something very badly, there are ways of getting them dharmically. And you do this particular karma, this particular worship, this particular offering to a particular deity, you will get whatever you want. And for a particular gain, I do a particular karma. Putra kameshti yaga. Somebody who doesn't have children like Dasharatha, he was getting old, he needed progeny to take care of his Raja. He had to undergo Putra kameshti yaga. It's not useful for Sudama because he already had some 28 children or something. So Putra Kameshti Yaga is for whom? For a person who very badly needs a progeny. Putra Kameshti Yaga. So it is what? A Kamya karma, a desired karma for attaining a certain material desire done by a particular desiree. You can say desirer or desiree or whatever it is. I don't know the term for that. So a particular person does that. That is called as the Kamya karma. Supposing a Vedanta guru is there, he's running an ashram, he wants to have more students coming to him. So he does Avahanti Homa so that more people come, the ashram becomes more, easier to manage. There'll be flow of more income. Even those things are there. Avahanti Homa is there. Kariri, I want to get rain. So there is some yaga by which you do. Then there are so many like that. There are so many sadhana sadhyas. They are called as kamya karmas. And then there is one more here, he guess, nishiddha karmas. This something which you are not supposed to do. For each varna and ashrama, the Veda itself gives certain karmas which are not supposed to be done. Don't do this, it says. So you're not supposed to do that. And what is the purpose of doing the karmas that are asked by the Veda to be done? That is for getting punya in the form of higher lokas, in the form of material benefits. And Nishiddha karmas you are supposed to avoid, because by doing that which you are not supposed to do, you are going to incur papa. And later on, you may be born in lower lokas, or you may be devoid of all your resources and wealth and other things. Then, of course, though it's not mentioned here, there is another kind of a karma which is also done called prayashchitta karma, which can also be included in kamya karma. Because things are not going well at all for a particular family, and the family is advised that it is because of some kind of wrongdoings that would have happened sometime in the family, so you have to do the prayashchitta for that. Or you would have probably done something very wrong in someone of your lives, and you have to do prayashchitta for it. So there are various kinds of prayashchitta karmas to some extent ward off the negative effects of a bad karma done some time back. So these are the only types of Vedic karmas that are normally talked about. What here he says is न काम्य प्रतिषिद्धादिभिः क्रियाभिः मोक्षवासना. By doing nitya karma, naimittika karma, avoiding kamya karmas, avoiding nishiddha karmas, you may not get mumukshutvam. You will keep on doing that. You will keep on doing that. When we do this nitya naimittika karmas with Ishwararpana buddhi, accepting the karma phala as Ishvara prasada buddhi, that means when I do these to be done karmas with the karma yoga bhavana, then over a period of time, those very karmas can get me the Ishvara anugraha of punya of mumukshutva. Okay, so here he says, न काम्य प्रतिषिद्धादिभिः क्रियाभिः कर्मभिः मोक्षवासना. Mumukshutvam does not come. Ishvaranugrahat sa syad. Sa means what? Mokshvasana syad. Ishvara anugrahadeva pumsam advaita vasana. So moksha vasana means advaita vasana. Because moksha is knowing that one and only, there is only one advaitam. So Ishvara anugrahad sastyad. Ishvara anugraha only can give rise to this mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam can happen only out of Ishvara's grace. That's why we talk about Ishvara's grace. When it is there, what happens? When Ishvara's grace is there, Shastra becomes available to us. Otherwise, Shastra is not available to us. Because of Ishvara's grace, Guru becomes available to us. Ishvara makes it possible for me to meet a Guru. Ishvara sends a Guru to me or sends me to a Guru. And if no Guru is available, Ishvara comes as a Guru himself, like he came as Lord Krishna for Arjuna. So, Ishvara Anugraha gives me mumukshutvam, it gives me Shastra, exposure to Shastra, isn't it? See, I should be born in a situation or in a culture where the Shastra is available to me. If I'm born in a culture where this Shastra is not even available to me, then what is it? When Ishvara Anugraha is there, then Shastra becomes available to me. And when there is mumukshutvam, and when Shastra Kripa is there, Guru Kripa comes. Guru comes. The right Guru appears. The right Guru appears. If I am ready for Advaita, for moksha, if I am ready for this Advaita Shastra Shravanam, Mananam and niddhidhyasanam, I will get an Advaita Guru. Okay? So, getting a Guru also is Ishvara Anugraha. Atma Kripa. I have to grace myself. I have to bless myself for this. Naturally, I have done enough of punya karmas in my previous life to probably get punya in the form of spiritual punya and not material punya. This is what is called as Ishvara Anugraha. Ishvara Anugraha is nothing but all that I have done, the punyas that I have accumulated, not out of sakama karmas, but out of nishkama karmas. I may come prepared in this life for this knowledge. I'm prepared. That's why we find that many of us are interested in Advaita Vedanta right from childhood. It's not that, we come to Advaita Vedanta after 60, 70. No. Many of us have been interested in it. We go looking for a guru, we search for that. Those kind of experiences, most of us would have had it. Therefore, what is said is, Ishvara Anugraha brings about an exposure to the Shastra. It brings me to the feet of the right guru for this thing. At the same time, I'm already prepared for this Advaita Moksha Vasana. I'm already prepared. There is sufficient Viveka, there is sufficient Vairagya already. And there is Mumukshutvam, the desire to know, Jijnasa. Mumukshutvam alone is not enough. I want moksha, I want moksha, I want moksha. That's not enough. What should I do for that moksha? I have to study the Shastra. Guru Mukhena, Shastra Shravanam, then Mananam, then niddhidhyasanam. This is what I have to do. That is my jnana sadhana. That is what I have to do for moksha. So clear, mumukshutvam is not enough. Mumuksha should be converted to jijnasa. Jijnasa means the desire to know what to do to achieve or to attain that whatever is called as moksha. Because right now I don't know what this moksha is, but I'm interested in releasing myself from this bondage. And therefore, I get the jijnasa, the desire to know, the desire to learn. Automatically, Shastra Kripa is there, Guru Kripa is there. Therefore, Ishvara Anugraha is a very, very, very important aspect in a mumukshu who has developed Tivra Mumuksha. So, we do this before chanting the Brahma Sutra Bhashya. We chant this, what you call the Shanti Pata. Tamha Deva Matma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanam Aham Prapadye. Those of us who are chanting the Bhashyas will know this is what we say. This is actually a mantra from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, which says, may that Lord Ishvara make this light of knowledge shine for me, and I surrender to that Ishvara. Mumukshurvai Sharanam Aham Prapadye. Okay, I the Mumukshu, I surrender to Ishvara. Tamha Devam Atma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Aham Sharanam Prapadye. So this is a prayer that we say. Oh God, let your grace be there for this on this mumukshu, so that I get the right kind of knowledge from the right teacher by studying the Shastras in the right way and understand it the right way. Then, if that happens, what happens? I have enough of punya, I have Ishvara Kripa, I have Guru Kripa, I have Shastra Kripa, I have this Atma Kripa, and then everything goes fine. And then sometime, it may not be in this life only, sometime or the other, I have started this path, I have started walking on this path, definitely, I will reach myself. I don't have to reach anywhere. I have to reach myself. That's it. Reach myself means what? Understand who I am. what my reality is. Correct? So, here, when that happens, what happens? My human janma has become sarthaka. That means my human life that I have come with has served its purpose. That's why in Vivekachudamani, the very first 2-3 verses say how durlabham manusha, this narajanma is so durlabha, so difficult to get among the 184,000 species or something. To get a life of a human is so rare. And if I don't use that, this is the only chance for me to know this, this Brahman, this Jnanam. Next life, I don't know where I go, what happens to me. This Jiva comes back in which form, in which particular situation, in which culture. No idea. Therefore, when Mumukshutvam is there, when Ishvara Kripa is there, when Shastra Kripa, Guru Kripa is there, I should not waste this opportunity. Therefore, here he says in the next verse, Avijñāte janma nashtam, vijñāte janma sarthakam, jñāturatmana dure syat, iti vedantadindimah. Avijñāte janma nashtaha. If I go on postponing this, because though I have everything, I know everything. Oh, let us see, let us wait. Let us, maybe after some time, maybe after I retire, maybe, when I have, finished all my duties of my grandchildren. Now I can't do it because, I have to take care of my children. Then I have to look after my grandchildren. Let's see if I get time after that for all these things. Let's see. Then I have lost. I have lost one opportunity. And so far, we don't know how many opportunities we have lost. We never know. So, avijñāte janma nashtam. Any number of times I have told, we have quoted this from the Kathopanishad. We have already this, iha cheda vedit ata satyamasti. Na iha, na cha iha vedit mahati vinashti. Mahati vinashti. If in spite of this human birth, which is rare to get, and I have all the things ready for me, and I don't get it, I go without this knowledge. Mahati vinashti. So avijñāte janma nashtam. Avijñāte nached iha vedit mahati vinashti. Great is the loss. Vijñāte janma sarthakam. My life has served its purpose. Vijñāte janma sarthakam. Jnātuhu atma na dure syat. For a knower, Atma is not far, it is I myself. The knower, Atma is he himself, not very far. Iti Vedantadindimah. There's no distance between me and Atma. I am the Atma. And this knowledge is what we need. It's simple, it is said. We find it difficult because we are not prepared for it. Nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu gurus sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkham apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat.